kana dire wendo hana tarudu kana gegere gabaga ya gudu hana tarudu kana gegere gabaga ya gudu wendo ni gai wendo otare wendo no virato wendo ni gai wendo otare wendo no virato ige korono hoti wakura daga menya maundu mothe mari hitho-ini na ndire wendo no virato igege na witikio ugithamia irima na ndire wendo no virato itari wendani ndire fatona nini itari wendani ndire fatona nini wendo ni gai wendo otari wendo no virato wendo ni gai wendo otari wendo no virato nikiona ikiheana indo ciakwa na mwĩrĩ wakwa ũcinwo na ndirĩ wendani ndirĩ ũndũ ingĩguna naguo wendani nĩ ũkiragĩrĩria nĩ ũtuganaga wendani ndũrĩ wĩru mwĩgatho ona kana mwĩtĩo wendani ndũrĩ wĩru mwĩgatho ona kana mwĩtĩo wendo nĩ Ngai wendo otari wendo no virato wendo ni Ngai wendo otari wendo no virato iwe huja muno no tari wendo no virato we hoya muno no tari wendo no virato wendani ndũgathira morathi magathira thiomi nĩgathira ona ũgĩ ũthire no wendani ndũgathira wendani ndũgathira morathi magathira thiomi nĩgathira ona ũgĩ ũthire no wendani ndũgathira wendo nĩ Ngai wendo otari wendo no virato wendo nĩ Ngai wendo otari wendo no virato
Good morning. What a wonderful song, starting with love there. What a wonderful song that one is. Wendo ni gai ni wedo. And this is another beautiful day that we are going to rejoice and be glad, encouraging one another, because the topic of today is how to be encouraged and how to encourage one another. You know, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking of different ways that people can be encouraged. You know, the soft encouraging and the harsh encouraging. But before then, we get there, I am smiling because it's a joyous day. Yesterday, we said we start with the workout of joy. We start with the workout of joy. Aquilina Wambua, karibu sana. You say, I love you sana. Karibu sana. I know you're talking about the song and the Jeremy Damaris group there. So karibu sana. So karibu sana. Be encouraged, be encouraged, be encouraged. And today I'm going to talk about how to be encouraged and how to encourage one another. So just checking that the audios are okay before I continue. Dokareke gariganiro haha before we continue. Karibu sana.
Menya kuria nyumite gutiro kia hotire kuruta ngoro eno yakwa hata kaine ya mathina tigane we waikirire ukareke ngariganiro newe moyo wananyonia inde muroyo ukareke ngariganiro newe moyo wananyonia inde muroyo waliwa. Chigane utule udathimite ndathimira nyumba yakwa wira wa moko makwa maundu makwa mothe ndukareke ngaconoka ndukareke ngariganiro niwe moyo wananyonia indi muoyo wanyu.
Asante sana JD, asante sana. Ndukanareke ndiganiro ni wega wananyonie thee. No, don't ever let me forget, oh God, don't let me ever forget. And that's a good way, one place to start. If you don't forget about the goodness of God in your life and all the good things He has done for us, for you, then yes, that's a very good starting point of being encouraged. So is there anything that is discouraging you this morning? So for you who is joining me, karibu sana, karibu sana. This is meant for you. You. The one who is listening right now. Stay there, stay with me. And you will be encouraged and I will be encouraged. So don't ever forget the beginning of your journey. I'm not saying that you go into your past and dwell in the pain that was there in the past. But I'm saying look at the journey of life. Even from this morning moment that you woke up, this very moment that you're able to hear. Never let me forget of your goodness, oh God. Never let me forget of the people who have walked with me on this journey. Never let me forget a day like this that I was given an opportunity to be able to come to speak to you, the Kenya Diaspora Media family. Karibuni sana. Thank you so much. Good morning from where you are. My name is Esther from Leicester. Karibuni sana. And today the topic I want to talk about is being encouraged and how to encourage one another. And like I said when I was starting, I said sometimes we encourage each other in different ways. It depends on different cultures where we come from. So there are those that softly encouraged, but there are those times that you're encouraged like unamwamka, just wake up, stand up, do this, or forget about that. Even that to me is a type of encouragement. But before we move on to today's topic, I want to revisit what I was talking about yesterday and then finish that topic in a little bit, because being encouraged makes you joyous. So yesterday I was saying let's work out the muscle of joy. How can we be able to be joyful every day? This morning I am joyful. Yesterday I was joyful. I ended up the day being joyful, filled with joy, and I want today also to be filled with joy. Yes, there are many things that need to be done today, Some of them seem daunting, some of them seem okay, some of them seem confusing, some of them don't seem like I don't have a direction. But in all, I know if I can cultivate joy, I can be encouraged. So this morning I'm saying, don't forget where you've come from, how far God has traveled with you. And number two, don't forget to cultivate the joy that I said yesterday. And one of the things that I said yesterday about cultivating the joy is being grateful, having an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful. So I'm thanking God of my past. I'm thanking God of today. I'm thanking God of the things that I have done, the things that I haven't done, the things that have helped me to move on with life, and the things that didn't happen in my life to protect me. I'm thanking God in all circumstances. Sometimes we don't want to thank God in all circumstances. I'm not saying we thank God when we are going through thanking God for the pain. No, we want the pain to go. Yeah, we are thanking God in all the circumstances, through all the circumstances, so that we can be able to pass through the circumstances more calmly, more encouraged, more persevering. But I'm not saying you thank God for the pain, right? It's so not so easy to thank God for the pain when you're going through the pain, but you can thank God while you're in that situation and say, Lord, I know I am feeling the pain. It's good to admit when you're going through pain and say, yes, this is so painful, this is so discouraging, but Lord, I know you're going to take me through this as well. So be encouraged. You encourage yourself through that thing that you're going through. You encourage yourself. So have a heart of gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. Be thankful, and starting from that point, you can be able to cultivate the joy. And once you cultivate the joy, you can be encouraged to move on throughout the day, moment by moment, day by day. You are able to look back and say, wow, if it wasn't for God's courage, if it wasn't for somebody encouraging me, then I wouldn't have come this far. So sometimes we are held back by fear. We are held back by things that hold us back. We are held by the fear of failure. We are held back by the things that happened to us that made us fail that particular time. So you don't want to try again. But I'm saying this particular morning, be joyous with me. Let's be grateful of the things that have happened or not happened, and say, thank you, Lord, yes, for the time you've given me. Thank you, Lord, for the life that you've given me. Thank you, Lord, for the good things that have happened in my life. Thank you, Lord, for the bad things that have happened in my life. You know, most of the time, we are told that life should be problem-free. That's what we are told, and that's the perspective most of us wake up with, thinking that life should be problem-free. So sometimes we think like, oh, other people are having it better than I am. Yeah, that's the perspective we have. But let me tell you, life is not problem-free. And those problems that come, one of the things we can be able to cultivate is the problem-solving skills. Once we kind of cultivate those problem-solving skills, then we can be able to encourage ourselves throughout the day. It's not a bad thing to have a problem, but find a way of solving that problem. So I am saying these points one by one. If you're writing the notes, write them down, because I'm not writing them. It's you who's writing them. But I'm trying to encourage you and saying this. If you're going through a problem, if you're going through a hard situation at the moment, it is normal. It is normal. It's okay. All you need to do is to rise up from the wailing, rise up from the mourning, rise up from the crying, rise up from the self-pity parties, and let's cultivate the joy that I said yesterday. Look at the things that have happened well before. Look at the problems that you have solved before. Look at how you have come from a long way, and be encouraged today and smile, and let's get started and say, even this one shall pass. Even this one will come to an end. So be encouraged. So I have already said about at least 3 points on how we can encourage ourselves, but I want to be able to recap what it is that I was talking about yesterday before we move on. I hope the audio is okay. I hope the audio is okay, and I just want to check that it is okay so that we can be able to continue. So yesterday I was talking about developing the workout, you know, the joy workout, working out this muscle that is joy. And I just want to say the two things I had said yesterday, it was to do with having a heart of gratitude. You have a heart of gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. And the other thing I said, it's about giving. When I said about giving, I said it's not necessarily money, because one of the things we think about the very first time you think about giving, people think about money. It's about giving your time, giving your attention, giving your affection. Yes, for you who is listening to me this morning, you're giving me that attention. You're giving me that attention. So thank you so much for your time. In so doing, as you give, it's more blessed to give than to receive. As you give, you find that you have enough. Yeah, like God, you can never outgive God. God gives us life. God gives us sunshine. God gives us nature. God has given us everything that we live interdependently with. God has given me you. God has given you your family. God has given you so much. So if we learn how to give, particularly from the inside, give a smile, give the joy. I'm trying now to give the joy that I have this morning. Receive it in the name of Jesus. So be joyous, because the more you give a smile. Whether you receive one back, you have done your part of the giving. It's there, it's freely given. It's just a stretching of a muscle. Give it. Okay, those are some of the 2 ways I said yesterday that we could exercise, and I had gotten these ideas from the UCB word for today. That's where I got the ideas from. And before now we can move on to encouraging one another in different ways. So the other thing you can do to encourage one another and also to cultivate this joy that we need to have for the survival of today, it's start serving one another. Sometimes it's so difficult to really want to serve other people. We want to self-serve. And when we do self-serve, it becomes a bit of selfishness. We want everything to be towards us. We want to do all the things that we are doing for ourselves, and there's nothing bad about that, because you cannot be able to give what you don't have. But like for the previous point I said, so if you don't have the joy, you cannot be able to serve other people with joy. If you don't have anything, if you're empty, then you're not able to give other people the thing that is supposed to be given. So it's good to fill up yourself with love, like we started with the song that is about love. Fill up your life with love, and then after you filled your life with love, then you have enough to overflow, right? But not an obsession with yourself, not an obsession of doing everything for you, because that becomes selfishness. Yes, don't be selfish. Be selfless and then give. Start serving one another. Yes, we are not entitled to everything that happens around life. We are not entitled. Whenever we have that mentality of entitlement, that it's about us, it's about me, it's about me, it's about me, then we forget where the greatest joy comes from. It's about giving others. And when you give other people opportunity to have an abundant life, when you give another person an opportunity to be loved, when you give another person an opportunity to be encouraged, then we are able now to live a more joyful life. We are able to live a more encouraged life, and fear disperses with time. So serve one another wholeheartedly. Yeah, give yourself to others. Yes, some people may want to use you or abuse you, but you need also to be able to be observant and discerning on when you're being abused or misused. Therefore, you can be able to stop, because I said also yesterday, do not throw your pearls to the pigs, because they will trample them over. So sometimes we think by being kind and serving one another, there are times that those people who are being served, they refuse the service, or rather they abuse it. So draw the lines. Serve one another, particularly those who need to be served, who need to be directed, where there is a genuine need. Serve one another, and then find great interest in people's lives. And then as you find great interest in people's lives, you will get to know them deeper. You will get to know the one who genuinely needs to be served, and you will know the one who may be wanting to abuse or misuse you. You will be able to know. So this is about cultivating joy. And once you cultivate joy, you become encouraged as you serve one another. When people come back and appreciate, and even if they don't appreciate, you know that you have done your part in serving God and obeying the commandment of God in service to one another. Okay, the other point is share your faith with someone. Like me, I have faith in God. I trust God that He will guide me. He will take me through this life step by step each day. I do. So I trust God. And then I give that trust to other people by telling them, like now, this morning I'm here because I want you to be able to trust the God that I trust. The God that I trust gives me joy, because I know of his presence. I know of his word. I know that I can rely on him to take me through day by day. You know, people want to touch, to see, to feel. Like I was saying yesterday, yes, we want to use our 5 common senses to be able to experience God. But we must experience God, first of all, by knowing who God is, and then believing who he is. And then through faith, we can be able to go step by step through this life. You know, he cares for you. He cares for me. That's why he has placed us in this face of the earth. So karibu sana for those who are joining in. I hope the audio is going okay and everything else is going okay. So what I'm going to do now, before I move on to the word encouraging one another, I will play one more song and then we can be able to move on and continue with our program. And hopefully, yes, we can be able to understand that being joyous and being encouraged on each day, day by day, we can be able to move in life more smoothly. So I want to play this song about Dukareke Gari Ganero because it's one of my favorite one. I don't want to forget where I've come from and where I'm going. Because if it wasn't for the faith that I have in God, if it wasn't for the trust that I have in God, if it wasn't for the planting of the seeds that he has planted in my spiritual life, I wouldn't be here talking to you and encouraging you. So before we move on now to the topic of today about encouragement, here we go. Dokareke gariganiro. Karibu sana.
Shuke na wedo mukinyaniru utumaga dirire ye gwikaraga denyihetie guguthiingata makiria wedo waku ni uhotaga Dukareke gariganiro niwe goya wananyonia inde muroyo wariwa Dukareke gariganiro niwe goya wananyonia inde muroyo wariwa amone mathirete aria ginao makoja indi wendo waku Ngai turaga umenyereire niguo ndikananiro ni migwi miuru ya ngoma Dukareke gariganiro niwe goya wananyonia indi muroyo wariwa Dukareke gariganiro niwe goya wananyonia indi muroyo wariwa ndamenya kuria nyumite gutiro ngehotire kuruta ngoro eno yakwa hatakaine ya mathina tiga niwe waingiriire Dukareke gariganiro niwe goya wananyonia indi muroyo wariwa Dukareke gariganiro niwe goya wananyonia indi muroyo wariwa
Asante sana JD, asante sana. Thank you so much for that beautiful song. Today we are talking about being encouraged and how to stay encouraged, how to be encouraged in the self and how to encourage others. So I have a few points here. They're not my personal points, but I'll try and explain them the way I hope it can be understood. Number one, connect to your values. What are the values that drive your life? If you know the values that drive your life, then you will be encouraged to pursue those values, to cultivate them in yourself and to cultivate them in other people. Number one, yes, know your values. What is it that you value, and where do you get your values from? Cultivate those values in yourself and also help others to cultivate those values. Number 2, know your purpose in life. Know your why. That's what people normally say. If you know why you are on this planet of the earth, then you will be encouraged day by day to serve the purpose. Previously I had said about cultivating joy is about serving one another. So if you know why, the purpose of your life, the meaning of your life, then pursue to serve that purpose in your life. If you do not know the why, then you do need to look out for what is it that God wants me to do? What is that need that He wants me to meet? I normally say purpose meets a need. So if there is a need in your community, in your life that needs to be met, then that's one of the ways you can find your why and be able to serve that purpose. One of my whys right now is to encourage you. So I was created as an encourager. So I'm trying to encourage you to be motivated today, to be joyous today, to know that there is a meaning in your life. Then I am able to live my life fulfilled because I know I have given what I've got. So sometimes we serve our whys in the wrong way. So that's number 3. Change the reason, change the why, change the purpose. If you had a wrong reason on why your life is like this, okay, you could be traveling one way and then you realize this is not bringing fulfillment, it's not bringing satisfaction in this life. You can change that reason and go to the reason that is serving your values and serving other people, and the one that is meeting a need in your life or a need in other people. So number 3, you can always change your why. So if one of them is not working, if you're making mistakes, or if you have made a wrong choice, you can change that. And that way, when you change your why, you can get encouraged because now you're working on the real reason, you're working on a new thing. So you can be able to do that. Number 4, you can change the how. I've been so inspired recently about talking about how to. Most of us know what. We know what. We know a lot of what things. What to say, but we don't know maybe how to say. We know what to do, but we don't know how to do it. So change your how, the way you do things and the way you take one step at a time, and you can be able to be moving on. So I'm talking about the topic of being encouraged and encouraging other people. So when you know how, then you're not stagnant. You are able to move on to the next level. The other thing is to remember the reward. Remember the product, the result that you're going to get. I mentioned this yesterday. If you know the fruit, if you know the results of what you're doing, I normally say, whenever you do something, start with the end in mind. So if you know what it is that you're aspiring to, and it is not a selfish thing, then you can remember that reward. You can remember the feeling that it will give you. You can remember the fulfillment that you've had before when you've done a similar thing, and that can encourage you to keep on moving. It can encourage you to keep on moving. Number 6, right? Shift from thinking about or dwelling in the past. Shift from going in the future. The future is somewhere there, but enjoy this particular moment today, now. Yes. I have had this from different angles, but I didn't think it can work, but it does work. So I am enjoying this particular moment. I shouldn't be thinking about the next aspect. Yes, I can have a plan. Yes, I know what I'm doing after this, but I don't have to dwell in that plan as in going ahead of it. And I don't want to go in the past. The thing that didn't work out yesterday, I shouldn't go there and try to work it out because it's gone, And sometimes even some therapists normally say, go back into your childhood and dig out those things that really are causing you this. Sometimes they are not necessary. We want to be able to deal with this particular moment. How am I feeling this particular moment? Enjoy this particular moment. Feel this particular moment with the things that matter this particular moment. Another point is have a word or something that really kind of builds your life. Have a phrase that can be able to be encouraging you. Have that statement that if it wasn't for this statement, sometimes I lose hope or I don't have the encouragement. But if you have that verse of the Bible, for those who believe like me, yes, I know Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, where it says, I have good plans for you. Not to perish you or something like that. If you find your favorite verse, you can do. Mine is John 10:10, and I normally say, Jesus said, I have come to give you life in abundance. Previously on that verse, it says the devil comes to kill, destroy. And yes, he doesn't have the good purposes. But I know that God has good purpose for me to have a life that is abundant now and a life that is abundant after this life. So have a phrase or have a word or have a quote that makes you to be encouraged day by day. So I want to have the abundance of joy today. I need to have the abundance of faith today. I have to have the abundance of courage today to be able to face this particular day. And I'm moving on very fast. Yes, number 8 is taking action. And I've talked about this previously. It's not just about knowing things and having them in your mind or knowing some good ideas and you're not taking action. So when you take action and you see the results, like a previous point I've said, then you become encouraged. You are able to see the fruit of your effort. You are able to see what it is exactly that you're doing. So take action. Don't just talk about ideas. Don't just think about ideas. In the previous topics, I have talked about not overthinking. When you overthink about something 10, 15 times, it doesn't solve that problem. You think about it, but it will only be solved when you decide. And once you decide a decision is not enough, you act upon it. Do something to bring that action or to bring that idea into the perspective of this reality. Now, I had already said link it to the product, yeah? So when you're doing that thing, look at what it is that you're going to get at the end, right? And when you know the result, when you know the satisfaction, when you know the fulfillment of what it is that you're doing, yeah, because you're serving, you're filling up your life with good things, you're filling your life with love, then it's come so much easier to be able to give the same to other people. So, yeah, link everything that you're doing, these actions that you have taken, link them to the product. That was number 9. And number 10 is you must feed yourself first. You must be able to receive what it is that you want to give. So if you want to learn something, learn it so that you can be able to help another person to learn. If you want to be able to love another person, you must learn how to appreciate yourself and how to love yourself. Again, I said not selfishly, but receiving the love that God has for you so that you can be able to tap from that fountain that is God, and therefore you can be able to give the same to other people. If you don't love yourself, it wouldn't be possible for you to be able to love one another. Yes, and when you love and receive the love that we've been given, then it's so much easier to encourage ourselves and to encourage others to spread the love. I'm giving that as an example. So fill up your cup, let your cup be overflowing. That overflow is the one that goes to other people. Don't be empty, because if you leave yourself to be empty, then there's nothing to give. I'm talking about how to be encouraged and how to encourage one another. That's the topic that I'm talking about today, and it's on the subject of well-being, which I've been looking at in the past few weeks. So for those who are joining in, karibu sana, that's what we are talking about. Then there is a place, this is point number 11, there's a place where you make a choice. You must choose. You must choose between discouragement and encouragement. Yes. If a day starts like today, do you choose to be discouraged or do you choose to be encouraged? Which one is your choice? So you must pick the best pick for yourself. Choose. Choose to be empowered. Choose to be encouraged. Choose the things that will bring the encouragement and will bring the joy, so that we are working out these things hand in hand. And once you've chosen, also choose, when do I share this? Choose, when do I help another person? And when you choose, act upon it. So these points are connected with one another, with each other. The other thing is number 12. Yes, pair up or team up with other people. We are interdependent with one another. There's no way Esther can be encouraged the way she is encouraged without you and you and you. So one of the things we need to be able to do is team up with people, pair up with people. Have someone who is able also to keep you going with that motivation, to keep you going with that encouragement. We have a God, yes, and his word is good. Yes, it encourages us. But even in real life, God uses people, real people like you and I, to be able to encourage one another. So pair up, team up with other people, And then the other point I'm going to talk about is have questions that you ask yourself in life. Have questions that you ask yourself throughout life. So like I had said in one of the points, ask yourself, what is your why? What is your purpose? So, but if you have the right questions that you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? Who am I helping? How am I encouraging a person? You know, the 5 W's and the H, you can be able to use those types of questions, and they can be able to help you to be encouraged. Yeah, what am I doing today? Why am I doing it today? Where am I doing it? With who am I doing it? So 5 W's and H can help you to be able to stay encouraged and to stay motivated in whatever that you are doing. The other thing that is very good, and I'm working on it, is to have a routine, to have a structure in your life. You know, I never used to like religion much, but I know religion has its own place, because when you do things religiously, then they can keep you in a structure also. Although you don't need to be enslaved by that structure, you don't need to be enslaved by the routine, but it's important that you have a routine of the most important things that matter, that can be able to help you day by day. That routine will keep you encouraged. It will keep you motivated in doing what you need to be able to do, whether it's the eating time, the sleeping time, the working time. Yeah, the school systems do help in education because they keep us in that routine. So it's important that you have a routine or a structure. The other thing I would say, and this is about point number 15, is use your strengths. I was discussing yesterday with my pastor, and I said, you know, people sometimes dwell on the weaknesses. No, it's important that you play on your strengths. Use your strengths. What are you good at? Those are the seeds that are good to plant in life, to plant in your life and to plant in the lives of the others. So use your strengths. Sometimes we say, use your giftings. You know, the giftings that God has given you. Do you know them? So go back to the question of the why. Go back to the question of the purpose. What is it that God has gifted you with? What is it that you're good at? And plant those seeds of your strength and be able to multiply those. Okay, I've talked about so many points, but I hope you've been encouraged. I hope you're going to be able to encourage another person. I hope you can be able to follow through some of these points. I'll just quick recap of them, and therefore no one misses, particularly those who are joining later. Some of the reasons I said, it's we must start from cultivating the joy, and we want our lives to be joyful day by day. And one of the things we do is to help one another, to serve one another, to give, to have a heart of gratitude and all that. Knowing your why, making the good choices, deciding and acting upon those. Yes, if you really, really want to know some of the key points that we have talked about today, you can rewind this. That's the goodness of having something recorded, because it can be rewound and it can be played. Okay, use your strengths wherever you can be. And as you encourage yourself, also encourage other people. Learn how to encourage other people. But one of the things I wanted to touch is to do with culture. In the West, people are encouraged so nicely and softly with kind words, right? You go telling somebody, please make sure you've washed the pots, right, after you have used them. Or please make sure you have started that job that you say that, yeah. So very nicely and politely, and it's good and it works maybe in a better way where the politeness is like that. I think in Tanzania, our neighboring to Kenya, they do the same. Naomba ufanye hivi. Naomba, yes. So there's that type of soft encouraging. But there's also the other type of encouraging, yes. And I think our mothers used to use that type of encouraging, right? And I don't know whether you advocate for it or you don't advocate. Yeah. So for example, in Kikuyu would say, you spend your time there sitting, lazing about, and see whether the farm will dig itself, right? Now, that depends on the person. If they hear the word lazy, if they don't hear the whole statement, then they may take it negatively. But this statement says, you spend your time there idle, yeah, not doing anything, idling about, and see whether this job will be done. So it is in a harsher way, it is in a pushy way, but at the end of the day, if you take it positively, remember I said about the silver linings in the previous topic, see the positive in everything that seems negative to you, and you'll be able to pick that positive thing out of it and be able to move on. So the topic is about encouraging. and staying encouraged, encouraging one another. And some of the key points that you need to be able to remember are the ones I've discussed, and they're connected with the confidence. Stop overthinking, stop worrying, but instead be able to do something. Otherwise, it has been a privilege for me to encourage you this morning. It is a privilege for me to encourage myself and you. And it has been an honor that I've been given a platform like this one that encourages me to keep on talking. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. Mary Onyango Wairish, thank you so much. You said I love you. And then Aquilina Wambua, thank you so much for joining me. And for those who have been able to stay up to the end, thank you so much. I hope you've been encouraged. By the way, it doesn't matter. You can encourage one person, you can encourage 10 people, however numbers of people that you can be able to encourage. I like our Kenya Diaspora CEO because he encourages a lot. He encourages us a lot. He tells us, come on, I've given you a platform, go and speak. Right? Oh, I really love the work you do. He inspires us to do what it is that we do. So you may see him watching right now or not watching right now, but one of the things he does behind the scenes that people will never know is how much he encourages us and how much he has given us the freedom to be. So today, go out there, encourage at least one person. Otherwise, it's been a wonderful time. May you be encouraged, because this is the time. This is the time for us to be able to do the things that God has purposed us to do. So if there is that calling that you have in your life and you've not done it, if there is that purpose in your life that you've not served, if there is that fear that is crippling you, this is the time for you to be able to get started and do something. So I'm going to play our CEO song, the one that says, it's time for us to get started. And if you have any questions or any comments, leave them here below. Okay, karibu sana bwana CEO. Karibu.
Cualquier